Hello and welcome to Chin Hairs and F-Bombs Conversations with Girlfriends. I am your host, Your Gab Pal Sal, and today my lovely guest is Chelsea, and we are talking about finding light in the dark. We are now on season 2 of Chin Hairs and F-Bombs. If you're listening today, you've probably listened before. I'd be super surprised if this was your first episode. But if it's your first episode, hi, welcome. Thanks for being here. Chelsea has been on the podcast before, season 1. Ooh. We talked about people pleasing. I'm having you back today so we can talk about finding light in the dark. I'll introduce myself again. Seriously, I don't think anyone's listening for the first time, but I am SallyAnn Gray. I always say that like it's a song. SallyAnn Gray.
It's a great name.
I like it. I'm a writer and a mother living in Maine, a place I love with my whole heart. Chelsea, tell us who you are.
Hi, Chelsea Ray. I live in Portland, Maine with my 16-year-old son. I am a mother who's obsessed with him. And for work, I am a wardrobe consultant. So I specialize in personal shopping and wardrobe organization.
And that's how Chelsea and I met. She helped me with my fashion, and then we became friends. Yeah. When we first started getting to know each other, I always felt like I had to dress like special when I saw you. Because you always look put together.
You're so sweet.
But what I have learned over the years is you can look put together in like any style. Like from dressed up, going out on the town to athleisure and like walking around town for exercise.
What a nice compliment. Thank you.
Well, you're welcome. And that gave me the freedom to wear what I'm wearing right now, which is comfortable but cute, which is so my style, comfortable but cute.
Yeah.
I'm a very practical person, but I like pretty things.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. So I love that over the evolution of our friendship that I have let go of that nervousness of like looking pretty around you.
Oh my God. You know, it's funny. It's a bit of a thing where I try to tell people in consultations, I'll always say, this is casual. Like, don't get fancy for me. Don't organize your closet before I come. You know, just a true, authentic self. It's a very laid back, casual situation. And I have other friends that have told me that before. They're like, I got all dressed up for you. I'm like, listen, I dress up for myself because it makes me feel good. It's called dopamine dressing. So I literally wear whatever that day, whatever my vibe is, that's what I'm going to wear. And like you said, some days it's just athleisure, but it's always just expressing how I feel that day.
I love it. I love it. And I've taken more of that. Like the more we hang out, the more I have learned to lean into dopamine dressing, lean into wearing what feels good to me. And I love also, I just feel like kind of the culture and like young people, the styles have changed so much.
Yeah.
When I was growing up, I really thought that everything needed to be flattering to your figure. And so like there were certain things that I felt like I couldn't wear because of my body type.
Interesting.
Yeah, the way my body is shaped.
Yeah.
And so I felt like wide leg pants weren't for me, that I could only wear A-line dresses. I had these rules.
Yeah.
And I have seen, you know, kids these days, they don't give a shit about that.
Right.
They're wearing like mom jeans and like high-waisted things that I would be like, oh my God, how dare you? And things that like make their butts look bigger. And I'm like, but that's great.
Yeah.
I didn't remember that. So I love that.
Yes.
I love that they have given me permission to wear whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah. I think fashion rules are meant to be broken.
Yeah.
Wear whatever you want. Whatever makes you feel good that day, just wear it.
Yeah.
If you look in the mirror and you're like, I'm killing it, you're just going to kill the day.
Yeah. Yeah. It does really make a difference in how you feel. And I think we're going to talk about that too in our episodes. So let's get into it. Let's talk about finding light in the dark. And I want to start by saying the reason why I wanted to talk about this is because the world is a dumpster fire right now. It's just bad. There's so much bad news and so much division and hate in the world and in media and in social media and just driving down the street.
Yeah.
And it's a hard time right now for a lot of people.
Yep.
And something I've noticed, I don't know if you've noticed this, you know how sometimes we as Americans say, hey, how are you? And it's just an opening and people generally say, I'm fine. And you move on.
Yep.
And they're not really fine.
Yeah.
I have noticed that when I say, oh, how's it going? That people have started to say, well, not that great.
Yep.
Strangers.
Yes.
And people used to always lie and say fine.
Yeah.
And that means something to me. I feel like it's just seeping out of all of us that things aren't okay.
Yeah.
That there's a lot of uncertainty
Yep.
about the economy, about the future. And that's heavy.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And you and I were on a walk and I was feeling pretty disillusioned. We were talking and it struck me, it always strikes me, how good you are at staying positive, about finding light in the dark. And you're not some toxic positivity, Pollyanna, head in the sand person. You've had your share of struggles, and I've seen you through some of them. And I really admire how you handled your heartache last year and in the last year.
You know, it's funny. Sometimes on the outside, we look good and we look like we have it all together.
Right.
You know, but you're really dying on the inside.
Yes.
And I feel like this past year, everyone was like, you handled it with such grace. And I'm like, what other choice did I have? You know, and I would fall apart behind closed doors. But really, you know, when you're out in society, it's just walking down the street and sobbing is really kind of unacceptable, I guess. I don't know. I did it.
Maybe
I did
that'll
it, but try not to let anyone see.
Yeah. Well, how about instead of, nobody knows what we're talking about right now. So how about you tell me about a hard time that you went through and how you coped?
Okay, well, so I just referred to the last year, and ironically, it's the anniversary right now of when things got really bad. So 1 year ago, things were pretty tough. I'll just give you a little background. I was married for 18 years together with my husband for 20. And my ex-husband now, at the time, he had a blood clot in his leg. He was in the hospital. It had to get amputated. And when he got out of the hospital, instead of coming home to heal, he said that he needed to go to a hotel to heal there, that he just didn't feel comfortable healing at home. And so I gave him that grace and said, go do whatever you have to do. And he left and he never came back. I got a phone call probably early October last year, and my girlfriend told me that he was having an affair. It had been going on for a while, and that he was in a hotel with his girlfriend. And like I said, it was right about right now, last year. So I remember just being shocked, blindsided, devastated, the deepest of despair, of hurt I've ever experienced. I felt rejected. I felt helpless. I felt hopeless. There was a lot of crying. I refer to myself at the time as a puddle because I just was like really low functioning. The air was thick. I was going through the motions of doing what I had to do to survive, but not doing it very well. It was just like a dark cloud over me, and I wasn't sure I was going to get out of it. I was scared. I felt like my safety had been taken away. My husband at the time was always my safe person. He was my person. He was my safety, and all of a sudden it got ripped away from me, and I was scared, and I was alone for the first time since I was 23 years old, and I didn't know what my future was going to be like. It was a wild time, so it was really dark, and I was, like I said, there was a couple times where I remember I was at the grocery store sitting in my car wondering why the hell I was there because I was supposed to be picking my son up at school. And I was in a fog, you know, and time went on and I had people around me that supported me. And yeah, I got through it. And here I am today.
Oh my gosh. You say that you weren't functioning well, but you were functioning. You were a mother taking care of your kid.
I didn't have a choice there.
I know. Yeah. I mean, there's lots of things in our life that we don't have a choice about doing. But we do have choices. I mean, your husband chose not to parent, you know? Something that I really admired about you during that time was that you did not run from your feelings. And I have a history of pushing down my feelings, of running from my feelings, of numbing my feelings, a thing I'm trying to get better at. And that is a practice. And you didn't do that. You didn't shy away from it. And you cried.
Yeah.
And you let the feelings flow through you. And I am learning that we need to metabolize those feelings that we have.
To be completely honest, the feelings were so strong that I don't feel like I had control of whether or not I could let them out. I was just so overwhelmed with the feelings I had that they had to come out. I don't think I could have humanly kept them in. It was so strong. I couldn't walk around with a mask on. You know, I remember actually someone coming up to me in a restaurant and he's like, "Are you okay?" Just looking at me from across the restaurant. He came over and he could just tell that something was wrong with me. And I was verbal diarrhea. I was like, blah, 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 and I told him everything and he was shocked. But I was really touched that he could see my pain. It was kind of interesting.
Well, and that's a lot of empathy to see it and then say something. Because some people are afraid of vulnerability, connection. And he didn't shy away from it.
Yeah.
That was really kind.
Yeah.
I have also been in hard times. I've lost 2 loved ones to suicide. And that rocked my world intensely both times. But, I mean, I had an anxiety attack at a demolition derby a few weeks ago. And that rocked my world. And I feel a little silly because it kind of would be a nothing burger to somebody else, but it just wasn't to me.
Yeah.
It literally impacted my nervous system.
When you told me the story about it, I actually was feeling it as well. It kind of rocked my nervous system a little bit. I was feeling that from you, and it was coming into me. That's how intense it was. When you were describing it, I felt your pain.
I've learned from this storytelling workshop that I was in that is neuron mirroring. That we were mirroring neurons, that what I was feeling, I was able to describe it to you with such sensory detail that you felt it too.
Yeah.
And something that I really believe in is that idea of a burden shared is a burden lessened.
Yes.
And that if you try to carry a burden all by yourself, it is so heavy. But when you share with someone who has all of your best intentions, who loves you, who cares about you, you feel lighter.
Yeah.
And that connection is so important. And that is something that I lean on when I'm in a hard spot, when I'm dealing with something overwhelming.
That is the first thing I do when I'm in crisis is I call all my friends and I talk about it. And it helps me get through. When you have your support system around you and you can talk openly with your people, that's definitely what gets you through.
Yeah, I agree. And it's good to know who those people are because not all of the people in your life can fill that role. We have one kind of word for friend, but we have so many different types of friends. I feel like we should be like the Eskimos and there are millions of words for snow. You know, you've got your ride or die friends, and then you have like social acquaintances, and those are different people.
Absolutely.
But to know the ones that have your back and can hold your heavy with you is super important. And something that I have struggled with because of my depression is a liar and tells me that when I am low, that nobody wants to talk to me, that I am boring, I'm a bummer. And it makes me do this thing I call turtling. And I just get in my little shell and just sit there and think bad things.
I want to kick your depression's butt.
Oh, God. Yeah, let's speed it up. Such a jerk, such an asshole. And so I struggle with this one, even though I know how helpful it is to share and connect and the relief that you can get from that. I know. But my depression lies to me and tells me that what I'm going through is not that big of a deal, that other people don't give a fuck, that I'm a bummer.
How ironic that what you truly need, your depression tells you don't.
Isn't that rude?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really impactful.
It is. So it's hard to remember to do the things that are good for you when you're not feeling well.
Yeah.
It's hard to dress cute when you feel like shit.
Absolutely.
Even if dressing cute, if that gives you some happiness, you might be like, well, I don't fucking care today.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's some of that stuff. It can be on a small scale and on a big scale. And I think so many small things aren't small.
Yeah.
They matter.
Absolutely. Everybody's process is different. How big they feel is different.
Yeah. Like my anxiety attack at the Demolition Derby, like it wouldn't have impacted some people, but it rocked me to my core.
Yeah.
And it took me 5 days to get regulated.
Yeah.
And I did so many fucking things to get regulated. I did a saltwater float. I tried meditating. I went running.
Oh, girl.
What?
What?
That's desperation. I went running 3 times.
I can't identify with that.
I can't either. I wasn't even running from danger to safety. I just knew that my body needed to metabolize this stress response that I was in, that I was stuck in. And I did other things too. I journaled the fuck out of things.
Good.
I talked to a girlfriend and cried for 2 hours, actually.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I bet that felt good.
It did. It did. And it was exactly what I needed.
Yeah.
And part of me was embarrassed.
Oh.
Yeah.
If you're with the right person, you should feel perfectly comfortable crying.
Well, and I was with the right person.
Yeah.
It was a video call, and it's like the ugliest I am.
Oh.
And part, like this mean inner voice was telling me, this is silly. This is silly.
Oh.
But it wasn't silly to me.
Yeah.
But she held the space for me.
That's
And
amazing.
she said, what do you need? And I said, I don't know. And then I immediately said, just support.
Yeah.
I just talked and I said the craziest things. I said the craziest things. And she just was there.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah, it was awesome. And 5 days later, I was okay again.
Yeah.
And I needed a lot of somatic things to get through it. And that was like the small thing. It wasn't like what you went through was this big thing. Your whole life was just rug pulled out from underneath you.
Yeah.
The future that you thought you were going to have disappeared.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
It's all right. My new future's even better.
I know. I know. Well, so something that I struggle with, again, I think this is the depression liar, is when I'm in a dark place, I think that is my forever.
Oh, like you don't see the light.
I don't.
Ooh, that's scary.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am absolutely convinced that this is my life now. And this will be it forever. And I have felt that way forever.
Yep.
And I am getting a lot better at it. And trying to remind myself, this is temporary.
Yep.
this is temporary. Everything is temporary. Even the good parts, everything is temporary. And getting better at having that perspective and context. And part of this, I'm trying to teach my kids this.
Yeah.
Because
sometimes like life lessons, you want to save them from experiencing the pain. Sometimes they got to go through it themselves.
I know.
You know?
I know.
That's like my life goal. If I could just like avoid all the mistakes in life that other people have made and they can like teach me their mistakes so I don't have to experience them for myself, that would be like so ideal. But sometimes the lesson just doesn't get translated well enough until you go through it yourself. You do it yourself and you pick yourself up and dust yourself off and get through it.
I know. And then the silver lining, the gift, I call it the gift of going through a fucking terrible fucking thing and surviving is that feeling that you get afterwards of pride.
Yes, because you know you can. Experiencing something so dark and hard and coming out of it, that gives you this confidence knowing I can tackle anything, I can get through it.
Yeah, exactly. That you did not know before it happened, that you could do that, and you did. And you're not going to get that from listening to somebody else's story and learning their lessons.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to go through it.
I know. It fucking sucks. And I absolutely hate that about parenting. I absolutely fucking hate, even though I know better.
Yeah.
I hate that I can't take away every pain because it is so painful to watch them struggle.
Yeah, you want to absorb it all and protect them.
Yeah,
put them in a little bubble.
Hard. And I know that is not the right approach.
Of course, yeah.
And so you just have to watch it and do this thing that I don't like, which is called trusting. Trusting the process.
Right.
Trusting the universe.
Right.
Boo, hiss.
Yeah.
That's hard. It's one of the hardest things about parenting, I think.
For sure. I remember my son having a situation when he was young where I just wanted to like call up the mom and yell at her. And I knew, I was like, I gotta let this kid figure this out on his own. And so kind of coached him and how he should handle it the next day at school and let him handle it. And it all died out. And thank God I didn't call the mom because, that could have created beef between she and I, or it could have made it a more dramatic situation than it was. And it didn't teach him how to take care of things himself. So I'm glad I handled it the way I did. But it was every ounce of my being was restrained in that moment.
Yeah. That is so hard. I wanted to ask if you have a ritual or a practice that helps you feel better or connect with hope.
All right. So we've had this discussion, but
I know the answer.
I do this thing, and it's something I've always enjoyed doing, but I made it a every evening thing when my ex-husband left. Because during the day, I would essentially go through the motions and keep everything together. I was sad out front of my son. I wasn't hiding that I was sad, but I didn't want him to see me fall apart. I didn't want him to see me sob and puddle on the ground. So I would go into my master bedroom, into my closet, and put on all my favorite songs. And in the beginning, they were sad songs. They were songs about breaking up, and I would cry and I would do a little dancing, but just listening to music and playing dress up in my closet, it made me feel better. And it's kind of magical because as I healed, the music changed. So, it was all this dark, depressed, sad breakup music in the beginning. And I noticed that I would start playing more like I'm mad songs. So it went from I'm sad, then it transferred over to I'm mad, and then it transferred over to empowerment, light, bright, fun, exciting, love. It got better and better. The music progressed and my crying lessened, my dancing increased. And so now I'm not going to say I'm like fully healed or anything. It's only been a year, but I will say that my evening dance sessions are mostly cute little dresses, mini skirts, and some really good gangster rap.
Oh my God. God, I love it so much. That is so wonderful. And I know exactly what you mean about the music and it reflecting your interior and how at certain points you gravitate towards different types of music. And I have used music in my healing from trauma. And there was this time like 2 years ago that I was listening to this music that was like angry feminist music, and I loved it so bad. I was just like driving around bad bitch stuff.
Yeah.
It was so exactly what I needed at that time. And it helped me. It really helped me.
Yeah.
Music is magical and singing is magical. And it actually is a somatic exercise and it stimulates your vagus nerve. And so it's actually really good for you.
I'm a terrible singer, but I love to sing.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm so glad because the quality of your singing isn't what's important, just doing it and enjoying yourself.
Yeah, well, same with dancing. I'm not the greatest dancer, but there's something inside my body when a song comes on that I like, I have to dance. It's kind of crazy.
I love that about you.
I will dance anywhere.
Oh, I love that about you. That is so fantastic.
Most people are embarrassed by it.
Oh, rude.
If I'm surrounded by the right people, they get up and dance with me.
Good.
Yeah.
You should be surrounded by the right people.
Yeah, it's mostly my son who wants to die.
Oh, well, he is a teenager.
He's 16. It's like the ultimate embarrassment age.
Right. Oh, my God. I know. I have a 14-year-old and I am absolute cringe.
Yes.
Well, I was thinking about if I have a ritual to help me feel better. And I do love a shower. I always feel better after a shower. And I do love to take a lovely shower, which is something I invented. I've talked about it on the podcast before, but it's getting absolute alone time in the shower, no interruptions, no timeline. And it's good music, low lights, good smells, the best scented soaps, and I shave my legs and I'm singing in the shower and I have some cannabis and it's a full sensory experience.
Yeah.
And it's just delightful. And I sing as loud as I can. I really love singing loud.
I love this so much for you.
I love it too. I have to close all the windows and all the doors and stuff. I really do. And I love a lovely shower. That makes me feel wonderful.
Yeah.
Going for a walk always makes me feel great.
Absolutely. I say when I walk, I do it just as much for the physical release as the mental. Every morning I go for a 4-mile walk and it's how I process my day. I feel incomplete if I haven't taken my morning walk to just release everything out of me and process everything.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Well, because of the left, right, left, right, left, right, it's this bilateral stimulation. And it gets both sides of your brain working.
I had no idea. This is so cool.
This is true.
Okay.
And so that helps you process better.
Interesting.
Yeah. I do some of my best thinking on walks.
Me too.
I do a voice recording sometimes if I'm just like really brimming with ideas. I don't listen to anything when I go for walks anymore. I used to listen to podcasts or listen to music. And now I just listen to nature and, you know, the voices in my head.
Yeah. We got him, girl.
Yeah. That thing that doesn't shut up.
Yeah.
Another ritual that I have is that I go on a solo retreat every year. And so I don't time it around like when I need it.
Yeah.
I time it around the fall.
Yeah.
Because that's when I want to go. But I have been going for 8 years.
The first time you told me about this, I thought you were crazy. I know. Because you went like camping by yourself. And I was like, girl, why are you not going to like a luxury hotel and cocktails? And you're like, no, man, I like you kind of went rustic.
I know. Yeah. So I consider it rustic glamping. So it's glamping because it's not camping. It's not a tent outside.
Right.
There's a toilet inside.
Okay.
And there's walls.
Yeah. Walls are good.
Yeah.
Toilets are good too.
And a roof. But the rustic part is it's off the grid.
Yeah.
And there's no electricity.
Yeah.
Certainly no Wi-Fi. Barely any cell service. And that toilet that I mentioned is a composting toilet.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
But it has running water.
Okay.
I know. I thought that was so funny how you were like, what the fuck?
Dude, I just would do it totally different.
I know.
But you know what? Do you, boo?
Yeah, I know. There's room for all of us.
Oh my gosh.
But when I first started going on this trip in 2018, my purpose was to disconnect.
Mm-hmm.
And going off the grid was the perfect way to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I found this magical cabin in the woods, in the White Mountains, on a farm. And I fell in love with it. And so I go to the same place every year. And I've gone 9 times now. I'm like text buddies with the Airbnb guy or pals. And so I go every fall. I go for like 3 nights, and I take that time to reconnect with myself, to disconnect from everything else. And every time I go, the trip is a little different.
Mm-hmm.
And every time I go, it reveals itself to me.
Mm.
Like if I was like, I'm going to do X, Y, Z and like had an agenda, the trip would be like, I don't fucking think so.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've learned to go with it. This trip that I just got back from was magical. I had so many amazing ideas and new ideas and saw things differently. And I wrote a ton. And it was fucking great.
Amazing. I mean, you keep going back to do it, so
Yeah.
clearly it's working.
Yeah, I love it. What a privilege that I can do this,
Mm-hmm.
that my partner can take care of the kids no problem and wants me to take care of myself and do things that are healing and nurturing for me. And yeah, that I have the ability to do it. It's a total gift. It's absolute privilege.
Oh, what a beautiful expression of gratitude.
Oh, Chelsea. So tell me something that you've learned about yourself through going through something hard.
All right. So this past year, that was the hardest year of my life. I was so dependent on my ex-husband for so many things. I needed him to open jars. And if anything of a crisis would happen, he was my go-to person to call. So when I lost that, I was like, oh my God, I need another person. And through this experience, I have realized I don't need no man.
Yes.
Girl, I started lifting. I don't need one to open my jars anymore. I got my finances all set and I'm working harder than ever. And I don't need them for money. I don't need them for anything. All these things that I thought I needed a man for, I don't. I got it. I got it all by myself.
Fuck yeah.
Mm.
Okay, that's so cool. Because that was true before, but you didn't know.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never really needed a man. I just wanted a man, and now I realize I don't know if I need or want either. No, I'm just kidding.
Word. That's right. Yeah, hell yeah. Okay, I love that for you.
Thanks.
Something that I've learned about myself that I wouldn't have discovered otherwise. I always find a gift after a storm. Always. And so a gift that came to me after this anxiety attack at the Demolition Derby, which is the name of my next rockabilly album.
Yes.
Totally.
Amazing.
It's like rockabilly emo crossover. Anyway, what I got out of that was that I don't stay uncomfortable anymore. The woman that upset me at the Demolition Derby, she stayed uncomfortable. And I'm not going to anymore.
Good.
And so I say that out loud to myself now. In the middle of the night last night, it was chilly. I was a little chilly. I'm not used to being cold in the middle of the night at perimenopause. And I got up and I got a blanket and I put it on. And I just said, I don't stay uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Instead of just laying in bed going, gosh, I sure am cold. It's so little to big though.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And after my dad died when I was 27 and I was a newlywed and just dealing with things that you don't think you're going to deal with when you're 27. I was my dad's only child and I had to deal with his house, his finances, his car, his ashes, just absolutely everything. And I was a mess.
Yeah.
And this is going to sound not related, but somehow I figured out how to communicate with Ben.
Oh, interesting.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
But I was in the middle of raging about something that was pissing me off about the whole dealing with death. And Ben started trying to solve my problem, which is sweet.
Of course.
Yes.
He was just trying to help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's sweet. Also, he's an engineer.
Right.
Like, he fixes problems. He
Right.
solves problems.
Yeah.
It's the thing I like about him. And in that moment, in my just raw grief, I saw that that wasn't what I needed. And that's what he was doing. And I said, I don't need you to fix this. I just need you to listen.
Look at you.
And that sentence, like, took us both by surprise.
You were almost as surprised as he was.
I
that
was.
those words came out of your mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we both saw it. And it was like, oh, okay. And this gave us a new language.
Interesting.
And that came out of my dad's death.
Wow.
Like, weird.
Look at you finding the light.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. And it's not always right away, and it's not always apparent, and you have to look. But it's there.
Wow.
Thanks. I want to close this part of the conversation by asking you if you had any advice for someone who is going through a hard time right now.
I now know, because when you're in it, sometimes you can't see the light. You can't see it. You can't feel it. I mean, I was in the depths of despair, and I didn't think I was going to come out of it. It was bleak. It was bleak looking. And I will tell you, time heals. It's been exactly a year, and the person I am now is so much better. I'm so much brighter. I'm so much stronger. I'm free. I have peace in my life. I live with kindness and joy. I'm so much happier now, and it took time. It's just time will heal. So if you're feeling like you're not going to get out of it, time will heal. It really will.
I remember this summer when we met at Opry, and your divorce was officially final.
Yoo-hoo!
And you looked different.
I was definitely lighter.
You were glowing.
Oh,
You
you're
were-
so sweet.
You were practically floating. I saw you a year ago. I'd seen you through this. I remember dancing with you at the Halloween party we went
God,
to.
that was like the first thing I had done. Like any social, gone out, done anything, like left my house other than driving my son back and forth to school. You got me out of it. And yeah, that was a really fun night.
It was. It was a fun night, and we connected in the kitchen afterwards.
Oh God, yes. Talk about sobbing to somebody. I remember I kept apologizing to you for like falling apart, but at the time that was just that was where I was.
And I was honored that you felt comfortable sharing that.
Thank you.
Well, advice that I would give to someone going through a hard time right now, I totally agree about time heals, and my words are like everything's temporary. Something else that I might say is look for the ordinary delights. I love ordinary delights. I love little things that just spark a bit of joy.
Yeah.
You know, that even when you're having an absolute shit day, maybe you see a nun driving a school bus.
That would be amazing.
Happened this week.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And it brings a little brightness. And to hold on to those things. Because I just don't think anything is too small. And to give yourself those ordinary delights if you can. Like, I don't really drink a lot of alcohol anymore, but I like to have a fun little drink every day.
Yeah.
And that's usually, it's non-alcoholic. So it's like kombucha or like a shrub or like, I don't know, a seltzer. Who knows? But just any way that we can add something fun and joyful into our lives at any scale, I think is a win. Thank you for talking about finding light in the dark.
Of course.
Something that I have done on the podcast sometimes, but not always, is story time with your Gab Pal Sal. Well, today I'm bringing it back.
Yes.
I am going to tell a little story because I just took a storytelling workshop and told a story on a stage yesterday. So I'm ready. So anyway, here you go. This is story time with your Gal Pal Sal. Frankly, I'd rather be in bed, but I am a mom and it is Saturday morning. Teddy, my 12-year-old son, is so excited to make lemonade. So instead of in bed, I'm in the kitchen clutching my hot coffee with like one eye open, and the rest of the house is quiet. Ben is playing pickleball. My 14-year-old daughter won't be awake for hours. So it's just Teddy and me in the kitchen, and he wants to make lemonade. This guy is nothing if not excited, enthusiastic. He has it in his head that he's going to make his own recipe. Because we've made lemonade before. He's had a lot of lemonade stands. It's always like a little bit of this, a little bit of that, like no measuring, just like, does this taste good? Okay, here we go. But this time he has measuring cups.
Oh.
A thing I didn't know he knew where they were in the kitchen. And he wants to make his own recipe. And I'm impressed. Okay. So I become the documenter. And I'm writing down, it's like a scientific process that he's going to go through so that it's repeatable. And I'm sitting there, and it reminds me of years before, a different time that Teddy and I were in the kitchen together. This time he was not 12, he was more like 6. And we weren't making lemonade, we were making pumpkin bread. And it was the day before Thanksgiving. And the next day we would drive to Boston and spend the weekend with our family. And we don't have a lot of family around here. And it is the one time a year that we know we get to spend time with this family and this many family members. It's really, really special to us. And we love it and we look forward to it. Also, the food is amazing. And this side of the family are absolute overachievers, and they make everything from scratch, which is delicious. And I have volunteered to bring food, so it better be good.
Right.
So we're making the pumpkin bread, and the kids get so excited, and they want to help. And what I remember about this was how stressful it was. That I was instructing them on how to do everything before they did it, and wash your hands again, and level off the measuring cup, and oh no, don't do that. And just, it was not fun. It wasn't fun at all. And as a matter of fact, the kids gave up.
Oh, yep.
Yeah.
I can see that.
And didn't finish. I finished the pumpkin bread by myself. And yes, it was perfect. But we didn't spend a lot of time baking in the kitchen after that. And when I think back to when I was a kid and I was baking in the kitchen, I didn't have a parent helping me bake. I learned how to bake from Betty Crocker.
Oh, okay.
Not the lady, the cookbook.
Yeah.
Because my parents were busy and distracted. They were busy with a failing family business that they were running. And then when I was 9, they had an oopsie baby who was really high needs, colicky, and I didn't get a lot of attention. I was the ultimate latchkey kid. And so Betty Crocker taught me how to bake.
Wow.
Hamburger Helper taught me how to cook.
Yes.
I remember reading the shampoo bottle and the directions say rinse and repeat.
Oh my gosh.
And I did.
Yeah.
It's washing my hair twice.
Yeah.
I didn't have someone guiding me through things.
Interesting.
So I looked for instructions. And then I became this adult who follows the wash instructions on my clothing labels. And I don't pay my bills on time. I pay them one day early. And I actually use my turn signal to exit my own driveway.
Oh, girl, that's next.
I know. And when I bought my first new car, I read the owner's manual.
Oh.
The reason why I like instructions is that it tells you the right way to do something the first time.
Yeah.
I love that.
Right. Eliminating that chance of mistake.
Here's the problem. There's no wiggle room. And in life, in most things, there's not one right way to do things. So I'm thinking about all this. I'm clutching my emotional support coffee with Teddy in the kitchen. My coffee's warm now. And I decided to let go. And instead of being so rigid and correcting him at every turn or being prescriptive, I let him lead. And what he found was the first batch of lemonade was not sweet enough and not lemony enough. And the second batch was too lemony. But the third batch was just right.
Oh, just like Goldilocks.
We Goldilocks it. And I loved seeing how proud he was of himself.
Yeah.
That he did this. He made his own recipe. He made his own way. And I'm going to try to learn from him. And I know there's no instruction manual to parenting or life. And so like Teddy, I'm going to get a little messy and make some mistakes and learn as I go.
Awesome.
Thank you. That was my story.
I loved it.
Hey, thank you. Yeah, so I told that story on a stage last night for an audience. Microphone, no notes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so this is the end of the podcast. This is the part where we do our joy share. Yay. So each of us are going to share one thing that is currently bringing us joy. It can be big or little or anything in between. So what is your joy share?
Okay, so I already said I'm obsessed with my 16-year-old son. He would die if he knew that.
Yes.
I play it cool, trust me.
You have to.
But he is the light in my life. He just is an amazing human being, and he is a sophomore in high school. He's playing on the varsity golf team.
Wow.
And this week he competed, and so their team made it to, they have two types in golf of like state championships. So they have a singles tournament where essentially you compete as an individual, and then they rank you as your individual, and then you have your team competition. But in the individual, there were over 150 players, and my son ranked number 9. So he made the top 10 as a sophomore, and just to see how proud he was of himself. Obviously, I was beaming with pride, but you could just see, this, as much as I had a hard year, he's a child.
Yeah.
And he went through, he went through the same thing, the same experience, but as a teenager.
His brain isn't fully developed.
He
had to go through that.
And my heart broke for him, but it wasn't anything I could fix. I just had to hold it together as best I could. So to see him come full circle as well, to see him last year so sad and this year be so joyful and social and just doing so well. He's thriving so much now. I'm just so proud of him, and he brings me joy every minute I see him.
Aww. Sweetie, you're such a good mama.
Thank you.
Aww. I love that. Very good joy share. You're so sweet. I might cheat and have 2 joy shares.
Oh.
I actually have 1 million joy shares.
I was just
right
going
now.
to say, the more joy shares you have, is like, that means things are going good. Girl.
Yes.
Yes.
And so a joy share that I have is that when I was on my solo retreat over the weekend, I came across a Hobbit house and I read a book in a Hobbit house for like an hour by myself.
So magical.
It was magical. It was absolutely magical. Like fairy dust in the air.
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh. I loved it so bad. It was so neat. So that was really special. I followed my want and found this Hobbit house. For years have been saying, anytime we drive through a cute little town in Maine, which is always, I'll see a little public library and say, oh, I would love to go to like a little library because I love libraries.
Yeah, me too.
2 of my favorite people I met in the library.
Aw.
My mister I met at the library.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my God, that's so... Maybe I just need to go hang out at the library.
Oh, yeah. Get you an intellectual.
Girl.
Elbow patches and glasses.
I'm all over it. Yes.
So, but I've said this. I'd love to go to like little libraries, and I never have. But I was on my retreat, and I was like, I get to do whatever the fuck I want.
Oh, yeah.
And I want to go to the library. So I went to this little library, the closest one to where I was at that exact moment. And behind the library was this Hobbit house.
This is amazing. Was it affiliated with the library?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so cute.
Yeah. And
Oh,
and
God.
it were like,
Talk about like serendipitous. Like,
Yeah.
you know.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was absolutely the universe going, here's a gift for listening to yourself.
Yay. Look
Yeah.
at that.
So the Hobbit house is a joy share. And then I'm going to cheat and do another joy share. My other joy share is something I'm calling the 80% club that I've just been vibing on. It's just this idea that instead of doing everything to 100% intensity, you know, overdoing everything, which is what I used to do, and I was exhausted, that I'll just aim for an 80% average.
Love it.
Yes. Occasional fuck ups welcome.
Yes.
And so anytime I catch myself like overdoing something, like this morning I was buying lunch for us and I was afraid I didn't have enough food, but you know, I did. And I just go 80% club. And I walked out of the store.
Love it.
And that is bringing me joy to let go and just be like, good enough is good enough.
Hell yeah.
So
I love it.
I'm gonna make merch.
Yeah, girl, I will be rocking that.
Sweet. I really want a hat that
Yes.
says 80% club. I'm gonna make a shirt. I'm making stickers.
I love it.
Cool. Okay. We did it.
Yay!
Yay! We made a podcast.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Yes, thank
Thank
you.
you.
It was fun.
Chelsea, repeat offender on the podcast. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for being light in the dark because you are like a ray
Oh,
of sunshine.
ironically, it's my last name.
I know.
This is perfect.
I just figured that out when I said it.
Girl, I love it.
You are a ray of
Oh,
sunshine.
ray of sunshine. I love this for me.
So, to all of our listeners who made it to the end of this episode, thank you so much for being here. And I really hope that you are feeling lighter. And I hope that you got something from this conversation that you can take to your life and use to feel better. So, thank you for listening. And that's it for today. And this is your Gal Pal Sal. And you have been listening to Chin Hairs and F-Bombs Conversations with Girlfriends.